Hey, peepsy doodles. Let me see here. So apparently, since a lot of you guys I know that don't really care for my live videos, but I have found that the picture quality is so much better than, I don't know why my phone is stupid, but the picture quality is better. Just kind of is what it is. And I've also realized when I went to go do this video, that a little thing popped up that said that the people replay later can actually read the comments, so I don't act like I'm just kind of talking to myself on the video, so we'll see what happens. But hi guys, how's everybody doing? Happy St. Patrick's Day for those people that celebrate or observe the holiday, and if you don't, happy Saturday to you. Hey girl, hey Willow, Shannon. So I always say that I'm not going to make this into a long video, and I always lie, but I am really gonna try to not make this a super long drawn out video. I kind of just wanted to come on here and chat with you guys a little bit about some of the things that happened to me over the last couple weeks, specifically the last few days, and maybe some of it can help some people that maybe be having issues in this department, and if not, well, maybe we're just kind of gonna hang out here and chat for a little bit. So what I wanted to talk to you guys about is learning to listen to spirit. Hi Sarah, well thank you very much. I do like to be real about the witchy life, and I don't like to over spruce things that don't need a whole lot of over sprucing. I feel like there's a ton of people that do a really good job of over sprucing, and I really sometimes wish that I could be that kind of witch that had like, I'm not a sprucey witch. Unfortunately, I'm a tired mama, and I'm a wife, and I'm a surgical tech, and I'm tired a lot, and so I just, yeah. Okay. So, sorry, this Irish may have drank a little bit too much. Listen to the spirit today. It's been saying vodka. Jeez. I want to come visit Ireland. Any of you guys that will take me in, I want to come visit Ireland, and y'all can show me around. How's that sound? Hey, loves. Okay. So I'll get going. I could literally say hi to everybody in the comments for like 20 minutes straight. It's already been 3 minutes. Stop it. So, being able to communicate with spirit, not communicate, being able to listen to spirit. So there are, first of all, you kind of have to understand, when I say spirit, I mean the universe, your spirit guides, your spirit team. Like every morning on my drive to work, I talk out loud to my spirit team. And that includes everybody. I've been working a lot with the archangels lately, so that specifically includes the archangels. I've been working a lot with Michael. So Michael's in that. My fox, my spirit animal is in that. Isis is in that. Any passed on loved ones that are around me, any of that's all in my spirit team and in your spirit team. Those peeps that hang out with us at all times and are with us throughout our day-to-day life. So those spirit people try to communicate with you from day to day, depending on, kind of what's going on, what you're doing. And they have, depending on, okay, every person has a specific way. Sometimes there's multiple ways, and you can definitely develop multiple ways that spirit communicates with you. And, those can be broken down into clairaudience, clairsentience, all of the, there's like 5 specific clairs, but there's 7 total. I think 2 of them can be broken down into, and so that's kind of where the clairs come in, is how spirit communicates with you. So for me, I am starting to find out, the more that I work with paying attention and listening, that I get I get a gut feeling, so I have clairsentience, which is clear feeling. I get like that pang in my gut before something's gonna happen, before, uh, sometimes like when I get a kind of message that I know I should be paying attention to as opposed to my ego, because that's something that's also important to pay attention to, is your ego is that side of you that doesn't want you to listen to spirit. It doesn't want change. It just wants things to stay as it is. So it will put other things in your head. So spirit may be like, you should bring your jacket today. Is it? It might be gorgeous out and sunny. So you may get that first thing that says, you should bring your jacket. And then the second one pops in and says, it's beautiful outside. It's like 60 degrees. Why would you need a jacket? You were outside earlier. It's beautiful. Like, you don't need your jacket. So ego comes in and kind of skates off and a lot of people just go, okay. And they, tiff off the first thing that they heard and go out with a jacket. Well, guess what? Cold front blows in. It starts downpouring like an hour later, and you're like, fuck, I should have brought my jacket. Because spirit told you that you should have brought your jacket. So whether that pops into your head as an image, and you see an image of you wearing a coat, or whether, for me, it's like an actual, I don't want to say that I can hear it. It's not like an audible hearing. It's like a voice in my head, kind of like when you have thoughts. That's what mine is it's a voice, a mind voice that says something. And it's a little bit more pronounced than the other random garble in my head. And usually I have like a gut feeling that goes along with it. So I am doing a intuition and mediumship development program with Brandeline Johnson. She's located right here in Michigan. I've gone to a couple of her classes, which have been fantastic. And I'm doing an online course with her, and so it's Brandeline, BRANDALEEN.com. If anybody's interested, you're more than welcome to go look. So I'm doing a mediumship course with her because spirits are a huge passion of mine, and if I could pick any gift that I would want to develop, it would be mediumship abilities. So I won, because I'm in a Facebook group, I won a coaching session with her recently, like 2 days ago, Thursday. And so I was kind of talking to her, and I said, because it was a spiritual awakening coaching session, and she's like, okay, what's going on, girl? And I said, I just had a bunch of questions, and I feel like I'm stuck. I feel like I did this with Flora's group. I've done this with Tiptoes. I do this with every fucking thing that I'm a part of. I start it, I get really excited for like 3 weeks, and then boom, I hit a fucking wall. And it's not like I run into something difficult. It's literally like life happens. I'm a mama, and I do this, and I do this, and I have all these excuses, and I'm like, I literally step away, and I don't come back. And she's like, that is ego getting in your way, because ego is scared of change. Ego knows what you are capable of and doesn't want to bring in all of that new stuff. So ego says, I'm going to create change in your, create this, not change, create these distractions in your life to keep you from going forward. And that's what happens a ton. And so I also asked her, I said, okay, so I was telling her about a few things she had mentioned, to start practicing on some photos. Like, we do photo readings in the group. And she said, why don't you start practicing? And I said, well, I never felt like I could, because I feel like if I do a reading, it's going to be wrong, because it's like you're just looking at it and all these thoughts pop in your head. And I said, okay, how do I know which one is ego and which one is spirit? That is like a huge thing for me, is understanding which random thoughts in my head are ego and which ones I actually should be paying attention to. And she's like, spit them all out. You know, when you're doing readings, blast them all out there. Put everything out there, because you will start to realize that when spirit messages, however it is you receive them, are coming through, that you're going to start noticing a difference. Whether they're a little bit louder, whether you audibly hear them or not, whether you get like that gut feeling, whether you notice, this was something I learned from Flora, whether you notice that if spirit comes first or ego comes first. So for some people, ego does come first. So it's something that you've kind of figure out for you. For me, I noticed that spirit comes first and ego comes after and goes, oh no, bitch, this is what you should do instead. It's fine. Like, your car don't need no oil change. It's not a big deal. It's fine. And then you're broken down on the side of the road and you're like, thanks, dick. So I totally lost where I was even going with all that. But anyway, so it was nice. It was really awesome. I know, it's like gone. But it was an awesome phone conversation. And so some of the things that I started noticing that Brandalene, it was a really profound thing that she told me, and I wanted to share it with you guys. She said, spirit is kind of like when you have somebody that comes to your door and knocks, repeatedly knocks, and you don't answer. What do you think that person's going to do? They're going to try to come back a couple times, maybe knock a little bit louder, and when you don't answer, they're not going to come back. Now, if you start answering every time they show up, or, you know, trying to answer, then they're going to start coming in and having tea with you. And pretty soon, you're going to have a really good relationship with this person at your door. And it's the same thing. You know, when you figure out and have a conversation, like I'm not shitting you, every day on my drive to work, I have an out loud conversation with my spirit team. I tell them what I'm thankful for. I tell them what I got going on in my life. I ask them for what I want them to help me with throughout the day. I tell them about what's good. Like, I talk to them daily, and it makes a huge difference. And so I really feel like if you guys, you know, make that, even if you don't know specifically who your spirit team is, they're there. And the more that you communicate with them, and the more that you show them, all right, I'm here. Like, I really do want to communicate with you. They're going to start trying. They're going to start trying to communicate. And once you figure out how it is that they tell you their messages, which clair they're using to communicate with you, then they're going to start doing it more. And that's when journaling comes in handy to kind of write it down. Brandalene had told me that, you know, writing down physically shows them, okay, like, she's for real. She's like actually working at this, you know, let's keep going. So before I get into some examples of what's happened the last couple weeks, I noticed there was a ton of comments, and I don't want you guys to think that I'm ignoring you, because I'm not. Do you ever use a pendulum? I do sometimes use a pendulum. I really like the pendulum. I can make them all swing. I just don't use them very often. Happy St. Patrick's Day. I get an upset stomach every time something big is going to happen. That is clairsentience. That is clear feeling. That's what I get too. It's like that gut, like, ew. Kind of like that almost anxiety pang in your stomach. Spirit said, you're going to smash your coffee pot if you set it down that way. Sure as shit happened, because ego said, hurry up. Little mama's yelling. Yeah. Sorry for the random messages. Girl, don't be sorry. That's what we're here for. Okay, so some examples. You know, I've been starting to try to pay attention. Like, a lot of my stuff happens at work, But, you know, as I'm going throughout my day, if I get a random thought in my head that's a little bit louder, than anything else, or it's kind of out of place. I've noticed that too, is that sometimes spirit messages will be a little bit out of place, a little bit random, that I pay attention to, and I've been trying to keep that particular thought in mind as I go throughout my day. So like I work in open heart surgeries, and we were doing a particular lung case, and one of the things that, you know, I had my suture or my stitch on my back table, and I had a particular one that I won't go into a bunch of detail because I know some people don't know a whole lot about the medical stuff. But there was a particular suture on my table that my doctor doesn't use, like, very often. And so I kind of set it there, and I had it counted and whatever, and I had this thought, and I was like, you should have that one loaded and ready. And I was going to go do it, and I was like, you know what? And then my ego came in and said, girl, when has he used that ever in this surgery? Like, you have it available for an oh shit emergency, but it's fine just sitting there. And I thought to myself, no, there's a reason that popped in my head. And I said, okay, I'm going to have the needle driver right next to it. And I'm going to keep that, spirit, I'm going to keep that in my head that I heard that, okay? I'm listening. I'm just not going to load it, but it's here. I heard you. So we went throughout the case, and we almost started closing. Like, we were right at the end, and I was like, damn, we never used that stitch. Maybe that was my ego, like, being weird. And literally, he goes, it was a 4-0 proline. He's like, can I have that blah, blah, blah stitch? And I was like, yeah, because he had a hole. I couldn't see it because I can't see where he is. So we used it, like, right before the surgery ended. And if I would have had it loaded and ready, I could have given it to him a lot faster than I was able to give it to him. Like, I was like, and so I said, thank you very much. Or another, like, random one, we were also in heart surgery, and my doctor and his PA were talking about somebody that the doctor knew and whatever, or that one of the other, it didn't matter. They were talking about a particular person that the doctor knew that I had never heard of before. And somebody had said, well, how old is he? And the number 62 popped in my head. I don't know why. I really didn't pay that much attention to it. It just kind of like flickered in there, and I'm like, whatever. And the PA said, I think he's like about 62. And I was like, well, damn. You know what I mean? So, like, the more that you pay attention and acknowledge, even if it's in your head, like, all right, spirit, I hear you. I'm paying attention. I'm keeping that in my, I'm keeping it there, and I'm watching to see what happens. The more especially when you take action. You know, like when I had that proline, and if I would have just loaded it and had it ready, you know, the more action that you take based on what spirit is telling you, the more they're going to talk to you, and the louder they're going to get. You know, after, like I said, the past few weeks, I've really been noticing a lot of this. And last week, I was dead. And it looked like a bunch of other people were dead, too. Like, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday were fucking exhausting for me. And so Wednesday came around. I really wanted to call into work. I didn't. I was a good girl. I went to work. And so I needed to leave here by 6:10 to get to work because I had heart that day. And I had my alarm set. I actually have 3 alarms that go off in the morning. And I was so tired that I just kind of snuggled back in and went back to sleep. And it was one of those days where my sister-in-law, who watches my daughter, was staying the night. So she wasn't, like, normally they would come to my house. And if I wasn't out by a certain time, they'd come in and be like, hey, bitch, you ain't up yet. Like, you need to get up. But my husband was already gone. My sister-in-law was sleeping. Like, there was nothing that would have woke me up. And at 6:07, I jolted awake, and I was out of the house in 5 minutes. I wasn't late. I think I broke some speed limits. But I really do believe that that was spirit waking me up, because they knew that I would have been late for work. I would have been terrible. Like, it was just, but I really do, because I had no reason to wake up. And they did it to me the other morning, Friday morning. I had an alarm set for 5:30, 5:45, and 5:55. I was really cutting it close that day, but I didn't really care. I wanted the extra sleep. And I kind of woke up on my own randomly, and I went to go close my eyes again, and I heard like, it was kind of like, you should check check the time. And I was like, I'm fine. My alarm didn't get off. And I got like you need to check the time now. And I was like, well, fuck, damn. It's like I picked up my phone and looked, and my first alarm hadn't gone off. It may have gone off, and I may have been delirious enough where I just like slapped my hand over and turned it off. But I didn't hear it go off. And I count alarms in the morning. I never look at what time it is. I count alarms and I go, okay, there's my first alarm, slap it off. Second alarm, slap it off. Third alarm, time to get up. So if I wouldn't have checked the time, I would have counted 2 alarms, went back to sleep, and not woke up for my third one because the third one had already gone off previously. So I 100% believe in really, really paying attention. So let me kind of see what's happening here. How can I start practicing? Because I have, and my mind is completely out of whack. Yeah, Angel of Fire, you know, really, it's kind of when a good time is for you. Like I said, on my drive to work, I literally wake up and I just talk. I talk out loud. I'm not shitting you. Like, I talk out loud. I leave my driveway and I go, good morning, my spirit team, my spiritual peeps. How's everybody doing? So I want to start out by thanking you guys for yesterday. It could have been a really shit day, and this, and this happened so that it didn't. I know that you guys were there. I know that you guys were helping. I really appreciate it. You know, I really appreciate this, and this that happened earlier about this and this, whatever. You know, I want to thank you guys for A, B, C, and D that I have in my life that really, you know, I show my appreciation for the things. I want to thank you guys for all of the blessings that have yet to come, blah, blah, blah. You know, this is kind of what I got going on today. I'm kind of nervous about this. I'm kind of nervous about that. You know, I'm excited about this. I hope that it goes this way. These are my intentions that I set for the day. This is how I want my day to play out. This is what I want. This is what I'm looking for. Bah. And so I have like an intimate conversation, like I'm talking to my best friend in the car out loud. Let me just see. Girl, I tell you what, Sarah, I do that too. I'd go through cycles. I go through so many cycles. I Spike Roses says ADHD and anxiety from practicing mindfulness meditation really helps. The more I practice slowing down, the more it seems to come naturally. I have a ton of anxiety too, and I have found that taking a bath at night helps me to just have a little bit of me time, because I don't really like being alone, I found, which is, yeah, kind of goes hand in hand with anxiety. But there's a grounding exercise, grounding and cutting cords and energy refill that I do all at once that helps me a ton. Hi, Julie. Okay, so yeah, does all that make sense? I know I ramble a lot, but I'm really excited, and I'm really excited to kind of share this with you guys, because I've found that I'm a big one, which sucks, but I am. Like, I want things to happen now. You know, I go through classes, I go through books, I go through this stuff, and like, I want to be a fucking medium tomorrow. You know, I don't want to put in the work to be, I just want to be one. You know what I mean? Like instant gratification. So when I'm working at something and it's starting to take effect and it's starting to work, I get really excited. You know, and then it makes you want to do it more and more. And I really feel like, you know, when you get into spirituality, when you get into, you know, developing your gifts, because everybody has them, that having that open line of communication with spirit is key. It's huge. It really, really is. Even if you're not trying to develop your gifts and you just want that little bit of extra insight in your day-to-day life. Like the amount of times that spirit can help you. You know, have you ever thought about, you know, when you're in your car driving and you normally go this way and something tells you to go the other way to work? And you do, and then later on you realize that, you know, the way that you would have took had a traffic jam, or the way that you would have took there was a bad accident and you would have been late. You know, a lot of people don't really think about that. They're just like, oh, I was lucky. No, that was spirit that was telling you to do. Yes, Julie, trust your motherfucking instincts, because that is what it is. You know, when you have that hunch, that gut feeling, trust that. You know, you are an energetic body, and your energy is connected to the earth, to that source at all times. Whether or not you're paying attention is a whole nother story, but we're connected all the time. So being able to tune in and really listen, or follow, that gut instinct, to follow that little voice in your head, or that loud voice in your head, or that out loud voice that you heard, or that picture that you saw. You know, really start to notice. Start to notice those things, because the more that you notice them, and the more that you pay attention, and the more that you take that stuff into action, even if it seems silly, you know, just start trying it. When you are out doing something, or you're at work, or whatever, you get like that random thought in your head, and you're like, that's dumb. Start following those, you know, and just see what happens. You know, sometimes it may be your ego, and you gotta, you know, whatever, and nothing happens. But sometimes it might be spirit, and that's when you're gonna start noticing what it feels like, because there's a physical difference. It may be subtle, but there is a difference than when you're getting communication from your spirit team and when your ego is being an asshole. Okay, so, you know, tomorrow when you wake up and you're on your way out to eat for breakfast, and, you know, you're gonna go such and such a way, and you get this random thought that's like, you should take the back way today. That's another thing about spirit, is they're very blunt. There's not a lot of explanation. There's not a lot of detail. Ego is very detailed. It's kind of like when you call into work and you call in, and when you're really sick, you call in and you're like, I'm sick, I can't come in. But when you're calling in just because you want to play hooky, and you're like, oh my God, I am so sick, I've thrown up, I swear to God, I've shit my pants like 3 times. I'm like half dead, I'm pretty sure. Husband has to take care of me, like I literally can't come in today. That's spirit and ego right there. Spirit would say to me, you should have that 4-O-Proline ready. Done. Have that 4-O-Proline loaded. Okay. Ego says, stop for a minute. Excuse me, bitch. When's the last time he used that 4-O-Proline? You do not need to have that ready. Like, it's on your field. You don't really need to have it loaded. Like, he never uses it. When's the last time he used it? You can load it back. Like, it takes you like 4 seconds to load it. It's not that big a deal. The fact that it's sitting on your table is fine. It's not a big deal. Like, you don't need to go through the extra step to load it. It's there. It's fine. And you're like, calm the fuck down, ego. What you trying to prove? Like, calm yourself. So spirit is very blunt, very to the point. They're just like, you should take the back way. Ego, I don't know if you need to take the back way. I mean, you take this other way to work like every single time. You take this other way to your restaurant every single time. Like, what is the point of going the back way around? The back way around takes like an extra 45 seconds. Remember that one time you timed it? Why would you need to do that? You're gonna like run into church time, and then all the church people are gonna get out, and you're not even gonna get a seat. And what happens? There was an accident on the way you normally took. So fun, huh? I'm looking. Do you think you listen to spirit more now because you're a Reiki master? Because I just got mine just over a week ago, and my intuition has been heightened. That's a really good question. I do think that being attuned to Reiki has helped a ton, because I felt like the experiences that I had with Reiki were so profound that it really helped to open a lot for me. I don't think that it's necessary, but I do think that it helped. Someone I struggled with being accepted what Spirit kept trying to tell me. Yes. I asked for Spirit to be as blunt as possible because I'm hard-headed. That's actually a really good thing too, is to tell Spirit. Tell them. Be like, hey, when you guys are giving me messages, like, I just, like, a couple words. Just give me, like, boom, message, done. Normally they're like that anyway, but, you know, you might even be able to ask them, like, hey, guys, I'm not really understanding if you're sending me messages. I'm not understanding how you're sending them to me. Do you think that you could start such and such? You know, do you think you could start, I want to hear them as thoughts in my head. I want to, you know, whatever, and talk with them. So anyway, I hope that this has been a bit helpful. Like I said, I'm really excited for what it's kind of been, and it's kind of nice because you get that little bit of extra feeling of goodness, knowing that you have that team that's with you, excuse me, and that they're there and they've got your back. So have you been working on your mediumship? Sorry, I came in at the end of what you're talking about. Oh, yeah, I'm like partway through the beginning goodnesses about it, but I have been working on it. Actually, like I said, I did a photo reading today, and it was the first one that I did for someone. Like, they post a picture of somebody like weekly, and you're just supposed to look at the picture and tell them what comes to your head. And I did exactly what she said. I just bleh it all out there, and the majority of it ended up being right, and I didn't even know this person, and so it really helped boost my confidence, and it was kind of nice. So okay. All right, love muffins. So it's 9 o'clock. We've been chit-chatting for a half hour. I'd say that's probably pretty good for the time being. I just wanted to come on and tell you guys that I missed you, and I hope that there are more videos to come, because I've kind of gotten like a renewed excitement after having that conversation with her, and after having some things happen with my spirit team and whatnot. You know, I just feel like a whole new door has been opened, and it's just nice. It's really nice. So you as well, Sarah, you have yourself a badass night. I'm glad that, I don't know if you meant that this video helped you, but I hope at least the peeps in the comments helped you. And yeah, we will all chit chat very soon. So don't forget, start practicing, listen to spirit, figure out how they talk to you, keep a journal, or don't, whatever you want to do, and start paying attention. Start paying attention, and it will be wonderful. Okay, y'all don't get too drunk on this wonderful St. Patty's Day. I'm going to be a rebel and switch to Dr. Pepper. So, okay. I'm sorry, Lauren. All right, love muffins. I'm going to go for real this time. Look at us having a live video in under an hour. Fuck, it's crazy. All right, you guys have a good night, and I will talk to you later. Bye.